Today I'm going to give you 3 IELTS speaking tips that you didn't know. Now, these are not practical tips. They won't tell you how to approach the test, how to do the actual test. They won't tell you the structure of the test so much. These are more psychological, okay? I think these will help you with your nerves rather than your actual exam technique. So what am I going to be talking about today? Tip number 1, examiners are nice people. Tip number 2, you will be interrupted during the test. Tip number 3, the exam does get harder. So let's address these one by one. First tip, examiners are nice people. So IELTS speaking examiners are all experienced teachers first, okay? So they're nurturing people, they're giving people. None of them wants to see you fail. They all want to see you do as well as you can in this test. Now the examiners are also trained to help you perform at the highest level that you can for this test. They know how important it is to you. The examiners are not looking for mistakes. What they want to do is they want to help you produce the best English that you can for this 15 minutes. Now that doesn't mean that they're going to mark you too high, but they won't mark you too low either. The test is fair. You will get the band score that you deserve, and the examiner will help you perform to your highest level. Now tip number 2, you will be stopped. You will be interrupted during the test. But don't take it personally. It's not a reflection on you and your English, okay? The examiner has a certain number of questions that he or she has to ask, and the timings are very strict. So they will interrupt you either to move on to the next question, or they will also interrupt you if you are going off topic a little bit. They will nudge you back. But they will do it in the politest way possible, and they will do it for a good reason. Examiners are also monitored, so they have to make sure that their test is not too long, but at the same time not too short. Now, as I mentioned, the examiner also needs to get you in the right band. So they need to help you produce as much language as possible, as wide of a variety of language as possible, so they can put you in the right bracket. So as I mentioned, you will be interrupted. Interrupted either for time, either because you're going off topic, or the examiner is trying to draw more language out of you by asking different questions. Tip number 3, the test does get harder, and it will get harder as you progress. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Part 1, very personal, quite simple questions to answer, things to do with you and your interests. Part 2 is that long turn, right, where you have to speak for 2 minutes. And then Part 3 is much more interactive. The examiner has more freedom to ask follow-up questions here also. And it's here that the examiner is really nailing down what band that he or she wants to put you in. So not only is the test getting more difficult, the examiner will also be asking you slightly more difficult questions to see whether you have enough language to express your ideas clearly. So, if you feel like the questions are getting more and more difficult, this is a good sign, okay? You should be encouraged by this. Now, this means that the examiner is confident that your English is good enough and that you are probably going to end up in a higher band. So there you go, 3 tips which I hope will help you psychologically on test day, and that will hopefully keep your nerves at bay so that you can perform at your best. I hope these help. If you have any questions, stick them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them. In the meantime, thanks for watching. See you next time.